Good morning, everybody. It's me, Teri Hunter. It's Sunday, March 10th, and we're here with this week's messages from your angels. Before I start, I just want to tell you guys a little bit about and clarify a little bit about how I do my work. I was chatting with a client the other day, and she asked me if I predict the future. And what I told her was that what I believe I see is momentum. What I check into is our energetic momentum. We make our decisions based on our beliefs, and then we take action on those beliefs. And focused action starts to manifest. So when I'm doing my work, that's what I'm seeing. And God and the angels are here to help guide you and give you advice as to how to either capitalize on that momentum or shift that momentum if it's not moving you towards what you want. Okay. And now, before I start, I don't want to keep you all in suspense. We have a winner of our half-hour free angel reading. I did something a little crazy this week, you guys. I decided, since I put 1 to 500, I actually printed out all the numbers. So in the future, I'm going to draw a number out of this jar. Because the first number I picked had some significance to me. And that number was 319. I should get the envelope so I can show you it. Hold on. Okay, so here's a little envelope. And our winner was Live, Love, Peace. And she or he is the only person who picked 319. Can you see it? Oh, lighting isn't helping. Well, hello. There we go. 319. So if you'd like to send me a message via Lada's website, I will schedule your free half hour. And then I'm gonna pull, I'm almost tempted to do another one today because I had so much fun watching everybody put their numbers in. So we'll see how the day goes. But anyway, so let's start with Aries and see what's going on with this week. All right. All right, Aries. Our first angel is Crystal. The second is Ray. The third is Isabella. And the final is Archangel Uriel. Okay, so Crystal says, have faith and hope because there's more on the horizon that you can't see. It's interesting to me because I do this work all the time, and I manifest things that are purely start conceptually for me. There's no evidence in the outside world. And then every once in a while, I will run into a situation which is challenging, and I actually get stuck in my 3D body, and I can't imagine how things are going to work out. And I actually forget to call on my guides and my angels due to that frustration. So I feel like for Aries this week, because I'm going to pop to the final card, I've got Archangel Uriel, which is about frustration, anger, unforgiveness, and dealing with some of those more challenging emotions. So what I think, and I'm going to go through the whole thing, but what I think is that Crystal is saying to actually don't let your frustration block or cloud your connecting with spirit, because here's Ray. Ray is the card for me. She talks about yoga and exercise on the face of the card, but she's in a meditative position, and she's literally connecting her power center up through her third eye, and it's flanked by a green stripe and a blue stripe. So this is connecting to spirit. And there's Isabella saying, yes, the timing is right. So I want to say this for Aries. If this last week or this coming week, you are birthing something, you're trying to move towards something, we're in a Mercury retrograde, got the little communications can get a little choppy. So if for some reason you can't see evidence of your manifestation, turn over your frustration to God and the angels and ask them to support you to be in your highest vibration as you take your movement forward. So a little frustrating, but still at the same note, I think that there's progress to be made. Okay, let's go on to Taurus. Welcome, welcome. Okay, Taurus. Woo, let's see. 2 angels just flew out of the deck. We have Mystique and we have Yvonne. Okay. As I'm shuffling the cards, I'm wondering if anybody's feeling the shift from the Uranus being in Taurus. You know, I didn't really. You know, you walk through, you think you're having a mood, you think you're having a moment within your own self, and then I'll go look and see what's happening in the stars, and I'll see literally the moon moved into something, or suddenly now something's squaring something, and it does the same thing when the energy calms down. Okay, our third angel is Francesca for Taurus, and then there's Ray again. Okay, so the reason I said that about the Uranus is because I've been having, again, a little bit of this weird, it's not really anxiety, but just sort of this weird feeling, just kind of a off-putting feeling, like things just aren't quite settled. And so for Taurus, I think if you're feeling that way, Mystique is saying to keep charging ahead, expect miraculous solutions. There's this weird energy. It's almost like it feels like, I don't want to say the word unsafe, but I feel like a little insecurity about something. And I think it directly has to do with the shift of the stars, because here is Yvonne asking me to be vulnerable to my desires. Francesca is reminding Taurus to keep their eye on the prize of what they want, not the road to get there. And then connecting through Ray, through your connection to spirit, to literally, in this instance, this is when you go to spirit and you put your directive there. And if indeed for some reason you're feeling insecure or unsettled about something and you want a sense of security about it, then ask God and the angels to give you that sense of security, and they will provide some sort of sign that will come across your path. This last week, I've had a really keen eye for noticing Seahawks, and it seems like every time I see one, it has a fish in its claws. It's going to eat it somewhere. And I have felt that that is in many ways a symbol. The Seahawk for me traverses with great prowess and ability, not only the air element, which is my mind, but also the ocean, which is my intuition and my body. So as I see that bird fly by with a fish, there's a sense of bounty, okay? So the fish is eating. So for me, this is a sign that spirit is giving me to be aware of what I'm thinking, to watch my emotional body as well, and to know that there will always be bounty for me as I connect to spirit in that way. Okay, let's go on to Gemini. Okay, Gemini, what is up for you this week? Yes, I speak to the ascendant first, then the moon, and then the sun. It was the thing when I was little and my grandmother was doing astrology, they focused always on the sun, and I'm a Libra sun, but I never was very indecisive. I've always been sort of clear that way. And I found it so interesting as I got older and started to study a little bit more. I'm much more my rising sign, and then my moon. I can be emotionally, I'm very loyal. I'm very kind of rooted. I'm also a little stubborn. I'll admit it. Okay, Gemini, here we go. Our first angel is Indriel. The second is Azure. The third is Grace and Antoinette. And the final is Celeste. Okay, so Indriel is a light worker card. She says she's asking you, she says, you are a light worker like me, shine your light out into the world. I don't know that a light worker is something that I think is actually special. I think we are light beings. We are all naturally here with that light energy. So I think for Gemini this week, it's about connecting to that element within yourself. In the opportunity, the obstacle, I have Azure saying you're flying high right now. Your desire will, she says, your desired outcome will occur in the very near future. Have patience and faith and don't try to force it. And I think Gemini might be feeling a little sketchy because here's Grace and Antoinette. It's a card of having compassion and seeing things from another person's point of view. So, and then finally, I have Celeste. Celeste talks about a new home, a move to a new home or a new place of employment. For me, when I see Celeste, it more so represents a shift in the way I'm thinking, because as I believe a certain thing, I take action on that certain thing. So I want to offer this idea because while I'm talking to Gemini and I'm saying, shine your light, when I say shine your light, it's about doing what you want rather than weighing the pros and the cons and going to the practical through what you can see in the material. This is about allowing your heart to blossom more, because I actually think this could be literally about a new move or a move to a new home or a new job. And I want to say this because I think Indriel is saying to Gemini to go for the job that you want, not the job you think you can get. When we take a job that's just supposed to be temporary, years can tumble by as we get used to that routine. And then this is where I think Azure and Grace and Antoinette are saying, go for what you want and have a little bit of compassion for yourself as you go through the process. So I really want to put that out there for Gemini. And even though I talked about a move to a new home, I'm really thinking this may have more to do with a job or a source of income. Okay, let's go on to Cancer. Okay, Cancer, what is up for you this week? Oops. I'd like to give it a good shuffle in between. Awesome. Okay, there's Celeste again. And here's Patience. This is Bethany. And Isabella. Okay, now interesting. When the angels come up in certain positions, it just reads differently to me. Because for Cancers this time, I actually think that this is not necessarily about a move to a new home or a new place of employment. I do think this is a shift in the way you're thinking. And I say that because in the opportunity or the obstacle, I have the Patience card, which is a time of not sitting on an egg and holding your breath. It's more a time of learning and studying and being observant of your own energy and how that energy is rippling out into the world, because I have in the angels advice Bethany, and Bethany is a card of self-care. But in this instance, I think that Cancer may be feeling a little shaky, insecure, unsure is probably a word I'd rather use about certain things. And I think Spirit is trying to say, oh no, yes, the timing is right for you to start to really believe and connect to the deeper dynamic of what you want to experience in this world. When Celeste talks about a new home, a new place of employment, but when we think about it, when we endeavor a new home or a new place of employment, we start to go into the practicality, the reality, the whatever the story is about, I need a job, I need to pay my bills. I really think that Spirit is asking Cancer this week to Cancer rising this week to look at a more full, robust way of how you're approaching your endeavors, because you're setting up a new foundation, a new groundwork, whether it be in an intimate relationship, whether it be in a family relationship, whether it actually be in getting a job. And Spirit is asking you to really look at how this plays out for you. How will you feel about this in a long term? I want to go not just a temporary, but thinking down the road a bit, because Isabella is saying it's time to kind of have those big thoughts with yourself. Allow yourself an opportunity to observe the things that are going on in your life from a place of being supported, and then how your energy is contributing to your experience. Okay, let's go on to Leo. We have not done Libra yet. I'm going in order today from Aries all the way through to Pisces, and we're focusing on your rising sign. And if for some reason you guys don't know your rising sign, you can always go to Lotta's website, and she has a free birth calculator there. Okay, here we go, Leo. Whoops. All right. Our first angel is Francesca. Our second is Crystal. The third is Archangel Uriel. And the final is Merlina. Okay. So Leo, this is interesting because Francesca talks about what do you desire. Focus on that. Focusing on the road to getting there will usually put you in scarcity or put you into a place that will make you feel like you're pushing a rock uphill, trying to strategize, how will I get there? How will it play out? Because so here's Francesca saying, visualize what you desire rather than what you have experienced. Then Crystal is saying, have faith and hope. I want to say this. I'm a big fan of faith because faith has an intention in it that says I'm taking no prisoners. It's a matter of timing. Hope sometimes makes me a little sketchy because that makes me feel like I'm hoping somebody's going to come in and help me, save me, because I feel like hope might be driving Leo a little nutty this week because there's no evidence yet. This is Archangel Uriel. There's a frustration there. And then in the final position, I have Merlina, which is a card of confusion in some ways. It's a card of needing more information, information, research, more data about what's going on. So I want to go straight back to Francesca. So if indeed for some reason, Leo, when you, in your unknowingness, in the crystal saying, you're in an unknowing place, you're in the midst of a manifestation, in the midst of an endeavor that you're going to be creating, and there's some sort of pause coming here. Your job right now, rather than to get frustrated with the lack of movement or the lack of evidence from that, is to allow spirit may be moving things around that you're unaware of. There may be dynamics that would actually be disruptive, and spirit is taking care of that ahead of time. And this is kind of where I think Merlina is coming into play. So as you go into having the idea that, well, maybe there's something more going on here. Let me see if I can be more succinct for Leo. This is how I want to put it. If this is a pause week when you have taken action and endeavored towards something and there's been no evidence that that's actually coming into play, or you felt a sense of frustration or a stall, I want you to allow yourself a bigger picture to think maybe spirit's doing something that I'm unaware of. So I'm going to go down to the outcome, and I'm going to imagine that this is been solved. The solution has revealed itself, and the dynamic has been rectified. Because I feel like Leo's job this week is to stand in the knowing, to stand in the having that faith, and then spirit will start to lay down evidence. But sometimes, we're banging around with not just our own intentions, all the intentions of all the other people around us, and there's this ripple effect. And I think that's what's happening for Leo this week. So don't get caught up in that ripple effect and let it take you down the drain. Turn that over to Archangel Uriel, and then have faith and stick in the outcome. This new moon this week, I spent some time making a new vision board. There were some things I had realized that I really want in my life, but I hadn't put any focus in on them. They were sort of rubbing up against maybe some of my issues or things I don't quite believe at the depths of my heart. And I really wanted to look at that and be really direct about it, because my underlying belief in that particular genre is creating my experience no matter what words are coming out of my mouth. So when I worked on the vision board, I really worked on the characteristics of accepting and me being able to receive all of those wonderful things in my life. There is a moment, you guys, when we endeavor, when we're working towards something, we get kind of used to the struggle of it. And then when it starts to show itself, we can very easily kind of get nervous about, like, oh my gosh, now it's finally here. Can I receive it wholeheartedly? And is it real? Because you spend so much time working towards something that when it shows up, especially like I'm thinking about a love relationship or something, one of those really deep things in our heart that for instance, I know I'm kind of going off, and I'll get to Virgo in a second, but I had a client here who very much wants to experience motherhood. She's a young woman, and this is her dream, is to build a family. And she had a little bit of reservation about admitting that dream to herself and to me, because it wasn't enough for the outside world. I don't believe that's true. I believe whatever our dreams are, they are enough, and it's up to us to really own them, and then allow in that owning for spirit then to support us in that. Okay, let's go on to Virgo. My dad was a Virgo rising and a Virgo sun, and I wish I would have known that when he was alive. Because if I would have known that when he was alive, I would have been a lot chiller about some things. Okay. All right, Virgo, here we go. First angel is Isabella. The second is Maya. The third is Archangel Gabriel. And the final is Opal. Wow. All right, my Virgos. Well, Isabella says, yes, the timing is right for this new venture. A happy outcome follows your positive expectation. I want to say this. I'm going to go straight to Opal here. Opal is the card of having children. You know, there's the potential of thousands and thousands of people watching this video. So there's a very good high chance that Virgo would very much like to start a family. And I find it very interesting how I'm inspired to tell a story in between the signs that is, to me, directly related. Because what I have here, and I'm getting chills all over the place. I have Maya. Maya is a card of schooling and education, but for me, this is my energetic education. This is playing back to what is the foundation, what is the deep platform of which my belief is and what I'm sitting on. Because here's Archangel Gabriel saying, turn over your insecurities to me. This feels very much like it has to do with home and family. Like it has to do with whether you're a man or a woman, the wanting to create that connection, to feel that support, and to feel safe in all the facets of who we are. I think that's what this is about for Virgo this week. And the timing is right to start to really put some focus on what it is you want to experience in your family body, potential parenting body, in your body as the child. Because when we can remember what it was like to be a child, I think sometimes it's easier to be a more influential parent, because we can relate to their sense of wonder and also the other things that come about children. But for me this week, I really want to say, and if for some reason I'm not of childbearing years and I never did want to have children, but if I was to look at this also from that dynamic, then Opal is going to be talking about your childhood dreams or the dreams you have for yourself. I want to say, though, more so, I believe that this is actually about creating families, creating connection within that dynamic. Hi, Stephen. Hi, everybody. Okay, I'm going to go on to Libra. Here we go. Okay, Libra. Luna, all you get to do is tell Spirit you're ready to invite in that relationship. Then you'll be coupled as heaven instead of single as hell. Or say coupled through heaven. All right. What is up for Libra? Don't know what that is. Okay, Luna, I want to say, haha, we'll see. This is exactly what Spirit will do. They'll go, well, I guess she doesn't really believe it, so she's wanting to have that single experience. This is where with my vision board, I had to get really real this last week, because the things that I wanted to manifest, I actually felt a little silly about them. I'm like, oh, this seems corny. That's the word I want to use. And I had to get over that corny energy, because if I'm feeling corny, I don't know what to do about this person. I don't understand the language, so I'm just going to have to do that. Sorry. Okay. All right, guys. So this is what I want to say too, Luna, because when we want something, let's say it's a job, let's say it's a relationship, let's say it's a bag of money, the more resistance that you have to actually looking at it will tell you how important it really is to you. And because we never get it wrong, we never get it right, we never really die, we live eternally, our souls go on and on. Spirit does not invest in our discomfort. They just basically sit and say, well, when she decides that she really wants to call on us and say, yeah, I want that relationship. I'm ready to be in that easy, breezy, flowing, supported, loving relationship. And then Spirit will start to move things around. But that little bit of how I'll believe it when I see it, it's like a big cog in the wheel. All right, Libra, here we go. Okay. All right, Libra. Our first angel is Akasha. The second is Athena. The third is Layla. And the final is Maya. Well, this is very interesting because for Libra, it starts off with Akasha, the spiritual teacher card, and it ends with Maya, the spiritual student card, which I think is very funny. But this is what I want to say. When Akasha is talking about a spiritual teacher having the ability to counsel others and helping them awaken their spiritual gifts, I really believe that Libra, by nature, is always balancing things out, wanting to look at being fair to all sides of the story. So what I feel like today is that when I look at Akasha, it's about Libra giving themselves permission to, I think, put themselves as a priority this week. I have Athena saying to lovingly assert yourself towards the things that you want. And I have Layla, who is my walking meditation. She's the card that when I see my Seahawks, right? Or I see my rabbits, my lizards, they're always nature, nature, how do I want to say it? Giving me those signs, creating that language, having a conversation with me. It's like I talk to spirit, asking them to support me, and then they bring me a sign through nature saying, yes, I am supporting you. So I want to say this for Libra. This feels like a week when you may have to, Maya, this card of schooling and education, you may have certain beliefs that you are easy to believe in certain times. Like, let's look at it this way. When you go to Costco and you need a parking space, it's easy to believe I can create parking spaces. But this time, maybe you need $1,000 to pay a bill. And that's a little bit, I don't know what's going on here. Sorry, excuse me. I'm just going to have to do this too. I don't know why. Okay, so this is what I want to say. What I think is that for Libra this week, there may be a revisit to certain beliefs that you have, certain things that you know, and certain dynamics that you feel. How can I be more succinct? Let's just say that I'll put it this way. Let's just say that you've owned your own business and you've been doing great, and then you lose a big client and it shifts your energy a little bit. It kind of puts you into a little bit of scarcity. And in your mind, that's okay. It's fine. That client can go away. There's other clients that will come in, but you got bills coming. You got little kind of something going on. So Libra is being asked to revisit what they already know, to re-implement that, to remember that about what you know, because it's sort of it feels a little bit like my belief has been dinged, and I have to recalibrate that belief, and I have to lovingly assert myself in the situation, and then let God and the angels confirm that for me, and then I come back stronger than I was before. My belief is even more anchored into this 3D experience, which is then going to make me a more effective creator moving forward. Okay, I think that's how it worked. Okay, let's go on to Scorpio. I'm trying to be good about doing the readings and not interrupting myself. So you guys, I know how frustrating that is. And every once in a while I see something in the chat, and so I have to kind of go over there and kick somebody out. Sorry. Okay. I'm going to say this too, just in case you guys are just tuning in. I did announce the winner of this week's half-hour free angel reading giveaway, and it was Live, Love, Peace. And I haven't seen you come in today on the chat, so if you hear this, just email me through Lotta's site, and we will set up your session. Okay, I'm going to go on with Scorpio. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate that. I really, I'm tempted today to do another half-hour giveaway. I gotta tell you, I had a fun time this week watching all you guys with your comments and your different numbers. It was fun. And then my dog got his teeth cleaned on Monday, and while he was getting his teeth cleaned, I literally cut up all these stupid, I just wanted to be fair. It was like my Libra and my Capricorn, Saturn and Capricorn got all bunched up together and wanted to make sure we do everything fair. Okay, here we go. Scorpio. We have Ray. We have Aurora. We have Yvonne. And we have Indriel. Okay, so Ray is, again, I'll always say, talks a lot about, on the card about yoga and exercise being good for your mental health. For me, this is really about my connection to spirit. It is connecting. She's got a yellow stripe going up through her third eye, and it's flanked by a blue stripe and a green stripe. So this is really putting my heart in my throat, my voice up to spirit with my dreams and my desires, because I have Aurora in the opportunity, the obstacle. This is my break the box angel. She's like the one that says, sometimes when you think outside the box, people think you're a nut, or they think you're headed for a fall. But Aurora says, no, it's time to think outside the box. It's time in this world to think outside the box and to be vulnerable. This is Yvonne. She does talk about having a way with animals. I rarely see it that way. I always see it as being vulnerable to my dreams and my desires. And in doing so, we have Indriel, the light worker. This is where I get excited about being on the planet at this time, because Scorpio, this is an opportunity for you as you put your dreams and your desires. Let's say this. Let's say you've been working towards something and you've had an opportunity come, and maybe that opportunity has waned. Maybe it hasn't actually, come into fruition. It's really about continuing to believe that if the opportunity came, that there was something from it that would be of your benefit to you, and to continue to hold the line, even though there may be no evidence of that. Because this is where Aurora really makes it fun for me. Because as others experience your breaking of the box and the way you think, just because you don't have a concrete answer doesn't mean that the answer is not in the Ethernet waiting to be received. And you shining your light and being there, it feels almost like you're holding space, like you're just holding space and saying, okay, it's all good. It's all good. It's a matter of timing. It really is. So this week, as you move forward, I guess I'm more addressing your emotional bodies this week than I am the actual manifestation. Because again, this can be the in-between space between putting an intention out there or endeavoring something, and our Mercury retrograde may be playing with Scorpio a little bit here too, because there's no evidence. And you holding this light, knowing, just connecting with spirit the whole time. It's all good. It's kind of like every once in a while when how can I put this? When I'm manifesting something and it hasn't actually happened yet, I will put myself in a spot that puts my mind in a neutral zone. Like when I was doing all these numbers on Monday, it was kind of mindless work, but it kept my vibration in a place where I was holding space for spirit to then bring forth a sign, an omen, opening a door that would make me know how naturally where my next step would be. So this week, connect with spirit with the deepest of your desires, be vulnerable to those desires, and know, Scorpio, that you wouldn't have the heart for them if you didn't have the ability to manifest them. And if for some reason something is not showing up right away, it's because spirit is fine-tuning something, okay? All right, let's go on to Sagittarius. Again, guys, this is by rising sign. I start with rising sign, and then I go to the moon and then the sun. Okay. All right, Sagittarius. Okay. Our first angel is Rosetta. The second is Ariel. The third is Oceana. and the final is Layla. Okay, Sagittarius. Rosetta's an interesting card. She's about parenting, she's about teaching, and she's about working with children. And I cannot help but feel like this could be very much about not having children, but teaching children, about being around children this week. And if for some reason your name is Stephen and you're looking for a job as a teacher because you just passed your teacher's exam, it's time to turn over to Spirit your desires with what you, this is Ariel. I'm sorry, the lighting is bad. Ariel says that new psychic and spiritual experiences are changing the way you view yourself and the world. And then I have Oceana saying to lovingly take action and to assert yourself towards the things you want. Then I have Layla. Layla's where Spirit starts to give me signs and omens as to which direction to go. So I want to say this for Sagittarius. If you are a teacher, or if you are a parent, if you are in some way dealing with children, I'm not even going to go to my inner child here. I want to go outside my body. This is time for you to not only trust that you're in the right lane, that you are. I want to say it this way, Sagittarius, because I'm kind of getting locked up between teaching and parenting, because they're two different things to me. And the parenting dynamic, I want to say it this way. As Sagittarius remembers what they were like as a child, how they would have liked to have been parented as a child, I think it could make you potentially more influential, ineffectual. And as I'm talking to people who are not parents, but people who are influential over children as teachers. For instance, I am not a parent, but I have a lot of kids in their 20s that come to see me. So I act in many ways as a teacher. So I want to offer this. As you trust yourself and your spiritual experiences and assert yourself towards looking for that job in that place where you want to be a teacher, or you want to start to create a dynamic of creating a family, talk to Spirit about the dynamics of what that is. And I want to say it this way, Sagittarius, because you've got Jupiter, and we've all talked about how great that is for this year. When Jupiter was in Libra, nothing significant happened for me. But what I did start to think about was the ideas of Jupiter's spiritual beliefs and my beliefs about what I could create. So I want to say for Sagittarius, this whole dynamic of Rosetta and Ariel is saying that if you really, really want something, don't be afraid to go for it. Don't dumb it down, thinking, well, okay, I'm going to give you a really crazy example, okay? Last year, when I decided that I could be a contributor on Lotta's channel, initially, I thought to myself, well, I'm going to go have this reader over here do a quick reading for me, because hopefully that person will then talk to Lotta about me. And because Lotta had 2 new babies and she was so busy. And I made up this whole big story in my mind about how I should go left instead of going straight to the source to get attention. And my spirit guides literally laughed at me. They said, that's ridiculous, stupid. Go straight to her. Don't worry about whether or not she's busy. That's her business to worry about. So I went straight to Lotta. And as a result of that, I got great information. I didn't know I was born on the star Spica. She validated that I'm on the voice of angels. I'm an angel therapy practitioner. And it gave me the confidence to then move forward and nudge that relationship. And then 6 months later, here I am. And it was awesome. So this is what I want to say for Sag. Go for the gusto of what you want. Parenting, teaching, whatever dynamic. And if for some reason you don't think you might, when I looked at Lotta, astrology site, I'm not an astrologer, but Spirit said you have something to contribute. So just keep going for it. So let that subtle nudge, let Ariel do its thing for you, Sag, and then take action. Okay. All right, let's go on to the goats. I love the goats. I think we do. We tend to think we'll be judged, or people will say, "What are you doing? You don't belong here." But something. I don't know. And this is the other thing too. I have to say, when I initially approached Lotta, the timing was off. We had all those crazy retrogrades last year, every planet. So I just relaxed. It was like I gave myself permission to say, you know what, this is a timing thing, and I'm just going to stay the course. I'm not going to worry about the results right now. I'm only going to be concerned with where I'm standing vibrationally, putting myself in the right alignment with what it is I want to experience. Okay, now we're going up to Cap. All right, here we go. Our first angel is Desiree. The second is Archangel Gabriel. The third is Indriel. And the final is Xana. Okay, Desiree is a little bit of a challenge. I'm not going to say she's not. She's saying conditions are not necessarily favorable right now, to wait, to look into other options, and to allow spirit to illuminate a path for you. My goats loved it. They're traverse those up those mountains with prowess. You're very action oriented in some ways. You see something, you're ready to move forward. I think this is about not necessarily moving forward this week. I have Archangel Gabriel here in the opportunity, the obstacle. I have Indriel, the light worker card, and then I have Xana, this angel of protection. I want to say this. So with Desiree sort of calling in a halt or a pause, a space where there's no forward motion, this may trigger a bit of insecurity. It may bug you a little bit. And this is where Archangel Gabriel is saying, turn that insecurity over to me, because there's something more important coming. And as you hold the light, it says, you know what? I'm going to allow for this pause, because this Xana is a protection card. She's an angel. She's not just protecting you physically, but emotionally and spiritually. So let's just say that, for instance, Capricorn has been endeavoring a business partnership. I'm just going to give you some random metaphors. Maybe the initial relationship seems really great, as we don't really know each other very well. And then as we get to know each other well, we find we have very differing ways of looking at things. This pause may be a way for spirit to allow you to endeavor this, two people being different and yet being complementary to one another. So the initial may seem like a bit of a clash. Desiree, conditions aren't favorable, but there may be a bigger wisdom to this that you may not initially see. And I feel like too that spirit wants Capricorn to be more focused on what they're bringing to the situation than what the other person is bringing to the situation, because or the other dynamic is. Because as you do that, I feel like there's something that's going to be illuminated. It's almost like a disruption that makes sense, or a disruption that, if it hasn't happened, would have created more disruption. It's kind of a choppy feeling for me with Capricorn this week. And yet at the same time, it feels like it's a good thing, as if Desiree is saying, if I wait, then spirit will be able to move out whatever is disrupting and bring in something that's more in alignment with what you want. It's like two things that don't make sense that end up making sense together. Good cop, bad cop. Can't think of another example right now. This is, I guess the way I kind of want to put it this week is because Capricorn can see a situation and then go straight into action. I feel like maybe don't go straight into action. Give yourself just a minute to observe the situation, and then to allow spirit to illuminate something, or yourself to be inspired by an idea, which will then keep you from tripping something up. So how can I feel like I'm not giving enough information. If you were at a coworker and you're used to somebody who's always behaving a certain way, and if you have something maybe you have to say to them and you may be anticipating how they're going to show up, do your best not to anticipate. Try to do your best to wipe the slate clean and look at things with fresh eyes. I think that will help the situation, because I feel like I'm coming into a situation with a sense of teed up. I'm already a little teed up to be annoyed, and I got Capricorn's got to take that off the table. All right, let's go on to Aquarius. Okay. So, do you guys want to play the game again this week? Should I pull another number? There's 90 of you out there. 91 watching. Yeah? Okay. I'll do Aquarius, and then we'll just see. I might do it at the end. Not going to tell you what the number is till next week, though. Okay. All right, Aquarius, what's up for you this week? Opal, I have Isabella, I have Omega, and I have Isaiah. Okay, Aquarius, y'all want to have some babies? Because babies look like they're here for you. Opal says your children on heaven and earth are here. God is watching over them and taking care of them. I have Isabella saying, yes, the timing is right for this new venture. I have Omega, the angel of victory, keep up the good work. And I have Isaiah. This angel is pregnant. The woman is pregnant, the angel's behind her. And again, this is time to give birth to new ideas and new situations. So I know there's thousands of people that could be watching this video, and not everybody will want to have children. But this feels very much like, again, I'm getting this feeling of family, of home, of wanting to start to create those connections. And I feel like it's, for Aquarius, it feels like when I look at this, it's like I want to create it with my view of what family is. And I want to say this too. For people that are going through fertility treatments or any sort of interventions to help them become pregnant, I feel like Spirit would like you to be mindful of how that vibration sits, because inherently it's a challenging dynamic. We have a problem. I would like you to sort of, if you can shift that, Aquarius, into, a baby is born because it has a soul's purpose, and it finds the vessel that best suits that purpose. And I am ready to receive it, because this 2 baby cards in the same 4-card spread for Aquarius makes me feel very much like I want to bring children. I want to have a family. I want to bring these dynamics into play. And I want to say this too, because as I'm saying this, Spirit's reminding me that you don't have to be of childbearing years to create a family. You can create a family, adoption, fostering. There's all sorts of ways. So if this has been something that Aquarius has wanted, and maybe that ship feels like it's sailed, maybe it hasn't, and it's time to give birth to new ideas about it. The safe way for me to go would be to always to refer to, the children as your childhood dreams and the things you want to birth. But I can't do that today. Today, this feels so much like little people, little souls wanting to come into a place where, whether we realize it or not right now, the disruption we're experiencing in this, especially in the United States, is really about it's really about clearing the air to bring in a new era of acceptance, so that we accept each other for our opinions and our thoughts. And I think the things that this country was based on, the liberties of freedom of thought. So I believe that children want to incarnate in this dynamic, that as we move more into this earth experience with our technologies, we're going to find more ways to be creative. And that's very attractive to the soul. And the earth plane is a really fun place when we have kind of worked through the illusion of scarcity and fear. So for Aquarius, if you want to birth children, just starting to give life to the idea of how much fun that would be, and the types of things and activities you would be doing with your kids and your family. Are you a soccer mom? Are you a football mom? What kind of mom do you want to be? What kind of dad do you want to be? And then go for that. I personally never want to be a mom, but I'm very proud of the experience I have with my young kids in my tribe. So, all right, going to go on to our final sign, Pisces. And I think I mentioned that 319 was Lucky's birthday, and that's how I picked that number first off. But I don't have very many significant numbers other than the master numbers in my life. So anyway, all right, here we go, Pisces. Okay. Oops. Okay. Our first angel is Omega. Our second is Teresa. The third is Athena. And the final is Isaiah. Okay. All right, Pisces. So Omega talks about that your victory is coming. Your desire is coming. Just keep up the good work. Hold the line. Continue to just keep a steady pace. Now I have Teresa in the opportunity of the obstacle. Teresa's an interesting card for me because it's a card where I'm putting a lot of energy out into others, and I'm concerned and worried, and I'm spending a little bit too much time focused out versus focused in. And Athena is saying it's time to lovingly assert yourself. And I want to say this for Pisces. If you are worried in some ways, like let's just say you're thinking a couple things, I'm feeling vulnerable to my dreams and desires. Like as a Pisces, I've gotten close to certain things, and the closer I get to them, the more I'm like, oh no, I really hope this is real. I hope this works. I hope I get this job. I hope this relationship is really what I think it is. Because here's Isaiah. Isaiah is saying to give birth to new ideas and new situations. And at this time, I'm not thinking this is children. I'm thinking that this is that Pisces, you get to win. You get to win, and you get to start to feel a little secure about that. So if you've been, if you're started a new relationship with someone, and the relationship is going really well, sometimes we'll worry about that. We'll be like, oh, this is so good, it can't be true. And sometimes we can even start an argument with somebody, just to see how will it happen when we're not so happy together. I want to say this. Giving life to the idea that you are being supported, that the dreams, the desires, whether it is a relationship, a job, the reconciliation of a situation, that gives spirit opportunity to really move things around for you, to enlighten you, to help support your giving birth to a new chapter in your life. Oh, and it's hard to be in a custody battle, and people, we can tend to get very. Everybody has their side of the story, and sometimes, and as I've gotten older, I try to be really cognizant of me not always feeling like I'm right, because I do. I tend to my Libra. I always try to be fair and just, and sometimes. Um, it's I can get too defensive of my opinion. So I want to say for Pisces, remembering Omega offers victory, not anything less. So that victory can come from feeling peaceful about the situation on the inside, because I've given birth to new ideas. And instead of worrying about what's going to happen to me, I'm lovingly asserting myself towards heaven with what the outcome I want. So I want to say it this way. I've had a very disruptive thing going on for months. It's driven me nuts. And I have to remind myself to declare that I don't want to end the situation. I want peace within the situation. I want to feel harmony within myself within the situation, and I want to foster peace and harmony. So while I didn't initiate the disruption, it triggered some old behaviors in me, or at least old thoughts in me that, oy, goodness gracious, people. Okay. What I want to say is it made me aware that just because certain people were perpetrating certain behaviors, I didn't need to throw the whole group into that and make everybody a bad guy. And it made me more cognizant to want to see each person as an individual rather than a collective of jerks, because they're not. Just a few of them are. So that's kind of how I want to say this for Pisces. I don't know if that makes any sense. I want you to be feeling faithful and trusting in spirit that the things you want are coming into fruition. And Isaiah is here telling you, just keep focusing in on that. Worry is a form of prayer that will block. It doesn't serve you. It puts your attention and intention in the very experience you don't want. So lovingly assert yourself into the outcome, the solution, the resolution. All right, guys, I'm going to pull a number. I'm going to pull a number again this week. I'll give out another half hour. I'm having so much fun doing this. And you'll see me pull it. I'm going to pull it out and put it in a little envelope, but I'm not going to reveal it till next week. And you know, part of the reason why I decided to do it this way is because everybody, oh geez, I don't understand people today. Okay, I did this because I wanted to make sure that we didn't do all just master numbers. Everybody was doing a master number. So here we go. Here it is. I'm going to put it, I'm not even going to look, so I won't even know what it is until next week. Put it in a little handy dandy envelope. And you guys have a great week. And again, live, love, peace. You are the winner of this week's half hour. Remember, guys, it's the first person who guesses the number in the chat or on the comments in the replay. And if you do 1 to 500, you're not going to win because that's not fair. All right, guys, have a great week. I'm sending tons of love to you all, and we'll be back next week. Have a wonderful week. Bye.